Welcome. Welcome to this lecture on sensitivity analysis. In operation research, that is also called as post-optimality analysis, and it deals with the optimization process or analysis after you get the optimal solution to LPP. If you make certain changes in the original problem, original LPP, then you don't need to solve that LPP by simplex method once again. Just by doing certain adjustment in the simplex method, you get the optimal solution by very easy steps. Sensitivity analysis basically means the effect on output um, for the changes which we do in input. That is sensitivity, right? As far as the operation research is concerned, and particularly LPP, what are the inputs? Inputs in the LPP are, for example, how many number of variables are there in the problem, how many number of constraints are there in the problem, what is the type of objective function, whether it is maximize or minimize, then the coefficients of variables in objective function, that is also the input, then coefficients of variables in constraints, all constraints, then type of ith constraint, whether it is less than equal to, greater than equal to, or equal to right hand side of ith constraint. Okay, whenever you write a program for solving a problem by simplex method, your screen should ask you these questions. By asking you this many questions, it will be in position to take the inputs for LPP. For example, how many variables, soon you give the answer to how many variables, that many places for variables will get created. Then you may ask how many constraints, then that many places for constraints will get created. Then what is the type of objective function, what are the coefficients of variables in objective function and constraint. You will be asked this coefficient. Then you will also be asked by the screen, what is the type of ith constraint, what is the right hand side coefficient of ith constraint. With this inputs, you will be able to build your LPP on the screen. And once this LPP is built, it will be solved by simplex method, right? And after you solve it by simplex method, you will get the optimal solution. And for example, you have got this as optimal solution. I have directly written it here. Okay, x1, x2, x3 are the variables from the problem. Okay, let me discuss about this problem, which with reference to which we'll be seeing various mm, changes in LPP and how to find the optimal solution in connection with the changes which occur in the LPP. Okay, so this problem is about manufacturing three products. It's a simple problem. X1, X2, X3 stand for number of units of product A, B, and C. 2, 3, and 1 is the profit per unit of product A, B, and C. First constraint deal with labor. We have 1 unit of labor available, and product A requires A, B, and C requires 1 by 3 units of labor each. And second constraint deal with material. Product A requires 1 by 3 units of material, B requires 4 by 3, and C requires 7 by 3 units of material. Alright. So of this LPP, we have this as optimal solution obtained by simplex method. Okay, what is the solution? X1 is equal to 1 and x2 equal to 2 and z is equal to 8 is the solution to this problem. And this is the optimal table wherein you have x1, x2, x3 as the variables of this problem. S1 and S2 are the slack variables. Okay, their coefficients in objective function are written 2, 3, 1, 0, 0. Coefficients of x1, x2 are written 2, 3, and here are the equations, means final position of the equation in the optimal table. Okay, Cj minus Ej, right? So your solution is x1 equal to 1 and x2 equal to 2, z is equal to 8. Now we will be seeing in group 1 uh, only the changes which happen, which occur in what you say objective function. Okay, so this is first part of group 1. Find the optimal solution if profit per unit of product C changes to 2. Okay, right now profit per unit of product C, that is coefficient of x3 in objective function is 1. Profit per unit of product C is 1. Now that changes to 2. Okay, what will be the optimal solution? Then the second question is find the range of insensitivity of profit per unit of product C. Okay, range of insensitivity means if I change the profit from 1 to 2, profit per unit of product C from 1 to 2, and if I find that optimal solution has not changed, then we say that that kind of change in profit per unit of product C is insensitive, or rather your optimal solution is insensitive to that change, right? So that is in what range of this coefficient the optimal solution is insensitive, it remains same. And lastly, in that group, find the optimal solution if profit per unit of product each increases to 6. So one by one, we'll be seeing how to find the optimal solution in each of the case. Given that this is the problem and this is the optimal solution to that problem. Now, first one, find the optimal solution if the profit per unit of production changes to 2. Now, in this table, I have redrawn the table and the coefficient of x3 which was 1, I have taken it to 2. And with that coefficient, now I have to question where will this change show its effect. This change of changing the coefficient from 1 to 2 will show its effect only here, Cj minus Ej for x3. Nowhere else the change will occur. Okay, and your solution is optimal as long as Cj minus Ej values are less than equal to 0 and B column values are positive. Okay, so now simply you find Cj minus Ej value for x3. So Cj is 2 now. Okay, Cj minus Ej for x3 it is 2 and Ej is found as sum of the product of this and this column. This column has not changed. It is still minus 1 and 2. So minus 2 plus 6 makes 4. 2 minus 4 is minus 2. This complete calculation which I just said is done here. 2 minus 2 into minus 1 plus 3 into 2 is coming out to be minus 2. So Cj minus Ej, new Cj minus Ej for x3 is minus 2 and it is negative. It is negative means my solution is still optimal, because as long as Cj minus Ej is less than equal to 0 for all values, all variables, and B is positive, B column all values are positive, your solution is optimal. Therefore, your solution is x1 equal to 1, x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2, and z is equal to 8. That's it. Okay, our solution has not changed in response to change in coefficient of x3 from 1 to 2. Now the question occurs, how long the solution will remain optimal? So that is the second question. Find the range of insensitivity for of profit per unit of product C. So what I'll be doing, this one I'll be replacing by a variable C3, that is the coefficient of x3 in objective function. Okay, these changes are to be done one at a time. But because I have this table in front of me, so I am doing all the changes in that table itself. But when you are required to deal with it, you will be dealing with each of this thing in isolation. Every question answered independently, right? So C3, soon this becomes C3. you just question once again where will be the change, and the change will be here only. Your Cj minus Ej will now be C3 minus this is minus 2 plus 6, C3 minus 4. Okay, C3 minus 4, and for this solution to be optimal, all values, all Cj minus Ej has to be less than equal to 0. So you simply have to write a condition C3 minus 4 has to be less than equal to 0. What does that mean? C3 should be less than equal to 4, and obviously it has to be greater than minus infinity. This is the range of insensitivity. If the coefficient of x3 is lie between minus infinity to 4, your solution is optimal. What solution you have is optimal. What otherwise you would have done? For any change, you would have solved the problem new, right from scratch, and I ended up getting the same solution that would have frustrated you. But here, by doing little adjustment, little computation on the optimal solution, you come to know what is the optimal solution. Now, what if uh, this coefficient increases to 6? Now, soon this increase to 6, what happens? 6 minus Ej is coming out to be minus 2 plus 6, that is 4. Ej is 4, Cj minus Ej will be 6 minus 4. So the Cj minus Ej value for x3 is coming out to be 2. And here it is. I have repeated the table, redrawn the table here, and that comes plus 2. Now when it comes plus 2, what you need to do is you take that as entering variable, as we usually do. If Cj minus Cj value is positive, you take that as an entering variable. Then you find replacement ratio as the ratio of B by K. Alright. So, replacement ratio you don't have to write if it is coming negative. 1 divided by minus 1. Why? Because this is the key column now. 1 divided by minus 1, it is dash, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So, x2 will be living variable, x3 is the entering variable, because the profit per unit of product C has increased to such an extent that now it becomes profitable to produce product C in place of probably product B or A. But this is giving a clue to us that B has to go out and C will be entering in. So with this information, you start doing the adjustment. Your basic variables, as you do in simplex method, will now be x1 and x3. The coefficients of x1 and x3 from objective function will come as 2 and 6 now. Alright. Now x3 column, you have to make 0, 1. Okay. So first of all, you will be making this to 1. You will be dividing whole the row by 2. So this becomes 0, then 1 by 2, then 2 by 2 is 1, then minus 1 by 2, plus 1 by 2, and 2 by 2 is 1. Now that you have got this row, you have to get 0 here. So you can get 0 here directly by sum of this and this row. Okay. Or you can do it here itself, this plus half of this. 1 plus half of 0, 1, 0 plus half of this 1 by 2, then minus 1 plus 2 by 2, 0, then 4 minus 1 by 2 is 7 by 2, minus 1 plus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and this is 1 plus 2 by 2, 2. That's it. Right? Then you will be finding Cj minus Ej. Alright. So Cj minus Cj is same. Ej will be finding. So Cj minus Ej for basic variable comes 0. You don't have to find it for basic variable. For non-basic variable, you have to find it. So Ej I'll be finding and will be subtracting then from Cj. So here it comes 1 plus 3, 4. Okay, Ej is 4, which is the product of this and this. Then 3 minus 4 is minus 1. Then coming here, Ej for this is coming out to be 7 by 2 into 2, 7 minus 3, that is 4. So 0 minus 4 is minus 4. Likewise here, minus 1 plus 3. minus 1 plus 3 is 2. 0 minus 2 is minus 2. So all Cj minus Ej are less than equal to 0 and B column entries are positive. That's why this is optimal solution. And what is the optimal solution? X1 is equal to 2 and X3 is equal to 1 and Z is equal to 10. Z must increase, then only we'll be producing new product. Okay, new product C has increased its profit per unit from 1 to 6, so it has become more profitable to produce, and that is giving us the profit of rupees 10. Okay, so this is how simply by doing certain changes in optimal iteration and proceeding it ahead as directed by Cj minus Cj value and replacement ratio, we can get the optimal solution very easily. You don't have to start solve the problem right from scratch. Okay, right? So this is how we get the optimal solution. Now another group of questions, rather those questions belong to same group, right? That's why I have labeled them as 4, 5, 6 and 7. All right, so question 4, find the optimal solution if profit per unit of product A changes to 3. Now in place of product C, we are talking of product A. In this question 1, we have talked of product C. Now we are talking of product A. Then same question as second was, find the range of insensitivity of profit per unit of product A. Then the next question, find the optimal solution if the profit per unit of product A changes to 5. Okay, and lastly, very general question, find the optimal solution if the objective function becomes x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3. So one by one we'll be taking. Now what is the difference between the first three questions and this next three questions? Right? Difference is of the profit of the product. Here you dealt with product C. Okay, here you dealt with product C. Now here you are dealing with product A, and with product A, the variable corresponding is x1, and x1 is a basic variable. X3 here was non-basic variable. So the changes could be very easily handled because the variable was existing here only, it was not here. But now what is happening? X1 is here and it being basic variable, it is here too. Because it is basic variable, it is here. Now, if some change occurs in the coefficient of x1 in objective function, that change will occur here as well. And soon it occurs here, all Ej's will change and all Cj minus Ej's will change. But there is one relief, that Cj minus Ej for basic variable will remain 0. It comes 0. Okay, so you don't have to calculate Cj minus Ej for basic variable. So coming on to our first question. Find the optimal solution if profit per unit of product A changes to 3. So from 2, originally it was 2, I have changed it to 3. Soon I change here 3. I will have to make the coefficient of x1 3 here as well. And soon I do that, I will have to find all Cj minus Ej's new. Okay, there won't be change anywhere else except Cj minus Ej will have to be found afresh. But Cj minus Ej for basic variable you can directly write 0, you don't have to calculate them. Right? For x3, let's calculate. Okay, Cj is 1 and Ej is while doing the computation, you remember, you be cautious that you have to refer to these values, not this. Okay, so minus 3 plus 6, that gets you 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Likewise, this is coming easier for S1 is coming 8 minus 3, that is coming 5. 0 minus 5, I'm sorry, sorry, that is 8. Uh, sorry, I am once again using this value. I have to use this values. This is 3 into 4, 12 minus 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. So 0 minus 9 is minus 9. So far good. because Cj minus Ej's are coming negative. You don't have to work ahead. Then Cj minus Ej for S2. Let's find Ej. 3 into minus 1 minus 3 plus 3, that gets you 0. 0 minus 0, 0. So all Cj minus Ej values are coming out to be less than equal to 0. B column values are unaffected, so your solution still is x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2, and z will change now because your coefficients of x1 and x2 are this. So 3 into 1 plus 3 into 2 makes your profit 9 now. Okay. uh, you can as well find Cj minus Ej values for non-basic variable like this. You need not form a table and find Cj minus Ej value in the table. You can find it Cj minus Ej for x3. Cj you know 1, Ej you will be computing like this, right? So it is coming minus 2, minus 9, and minus 2, minus 9, and 0 here. Okay. So as all Cj minus Ej's are coming out to be less than equal to 0, this is your optimal solution. Okay. But Z value has changed. Now second question. What is the range of insensitivity of profit per unit of product A? Right? So what I'll be doing now, in place of 2 I'll be writing C1 because I don't know what is the value of C1, for which I'll keep on getting this as optimal solution 1 and 2, x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2. So I'll be keeping this as C1. Okay, and soon I do that. Let me find Cj minus Ej's for that change. So here I have written those. All right. So Cb new will be this value. Coefficient of x1 is C1. Coefficient of x1 is C1 for this question number 5. Okay. And x2 is 3 as it is because we have not changed it. Now Cj minus Ej for basic variable is going to be 0 as it is. We don't have to find it. We'll however be finding Ej for x3, s1 and s2. Ej for x3 is coming out to be minus c1 plus 6. So 1 minus c1 plus 6 gets you c1 minus 5. Alright. And then we will be finding out value for Cj minus Ej for S1. So what is that? 8 minus 3, 5. So no, not 8. I have to take this coefficient. 4C1 minus 3. So 0 minus 4C1 minus 3 gets you minus 4C1 plus 3. And likewise here, minus C1 plus 3, that is getting 0 minus C1 plus 3 gets you C1 minus 3, right? And lastly, if you want to find value of Z, that will be C1 plus 6, right? Now for this solution to be optimal, we want C1 minus 5 to be less than equal to 0 because all this Cj minus Ej should be less than equal to 0, alright? So C1 minus 5 should be less than equal to 0 means that C1 should be less than equal to 5. Okay, this is one thing I have got. And then this condition minus 4C1 plus 3 should be less than equal to 0 means minus 4C1 should be less than equal to minus 3. Alright. And therefore 4C1 has to be less than equal to 3, greater than equal to, because soon I change the sign on both sides, the sign in between will also change, will also reverse. Okay, less than will turn to greater than. 4C1 greater than equal to 3, that means C1 should be greater than equal to 3 by 4. And lastly, this C1 minus 3 also has to be less than equal to 3, meaning that C1 will be less than equal to 3. Now you have C1 less than equal to 5 and C1 less than equal to 3. effectively means C1 will be less than equal to 3, and simultaneously it has to be greater than equal to 3 by 4. So the range of insensitivity comes out to be 3 by 4 to 3. Okay, within this range, whatever be the coefficient of x1, your optimal solution will remain this: x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2. It will not change, but z value will change. Z value will be c1 plus 6. It will change. Okay, coming to question number 6 now. Question number 6. Now, all right. Now, question number 6. Okay, find the optimal solution if profit per unit of product A changes to 5. So again simple, I'll be changing this 2 to 5. So here I did it. In this new table I did it. I rewrote this table with this coefficient 5, and soon this is 5, coefficient of x1 here also will be 5. And I will be finding new Cj minus Ej. Okay, so so for so far just a minute. Hmm. No, I won't be referring to this iteration. Before the I refer to that, I will have to come here. Soon the coefficient of x1 changes to 5. So what are the changes we are going to have? That I'll write here. Okay, Cj minus Ej new are going to be this one now. Okay, I'll be doing those changes here. Okay, for sixth question, the things will turn like this: Cj minus Ej for x1 and x2 will remain 0, right? Then for x3, it will be, just point that out, that is coming out to be 1 minus, this is now 5, this is now 5 minus 5 plus 6, that is 1, 1 minus 1, 0. Then like here, 5, in place of C1 you see 5, alright. In place of C1 you see 5, 5 into 420 minus 317. Okay, 0 minus 17 minus 17. Alright, then likewise 5 minus 5 plus 3 gets you 2. What is that? Minus 2, and Cj minus Cj will become 2, and because of that this will become entering variable, and for living variable you will be finding replacement ratios. Okay, replacement ratios you will be finding like this. Okay, that is b by key. 1 divided by minus 1 is dash there. Here I have written what will be the replacement ratio. 2 divided by 1, 2. Here those will be dash and 2, meaning that x2 will be living variable, and in place of x2, s2 will enter. So here I have, okay, this will be key element, and because it is 1 and I have to bring here 0, it is now simple for me to do that. Because this is already 1, I will be retaining this row as it is. Okay, but here x2 is replaced by s2. Okay, 0, 1, 2, minus 1, 1, 2. That's it. Then I want to get 0 here in the next iteration. So what I will be doing? I will be adding this 2 to get 0 here. 1 plus 0, 1, 0 plus 1, 1, minus 1 plus 2, 1, then 4 minus 1, 3, minus 1 plus 1, 0, and 1 plus 2, 3. Right? That's it. Then I will be finding Cj minus Ej. Here I get Cj for x1 will be 0 because it is the basic variable. For s2 also it will be 0 because that is the basic variable. Now let's find it for remaining. 3 minus 5 minus 2. I am doing Ej for finding Ej this into this. So 3 minus 5 minus 2, then 1 minus 5 is coming out to be minus 4, another value is getting multiplied by 0. That's why I am not doing that multiplication. 0 minus 15 and 0 minus 0 0. So all Cj minus Ej values are coming out to be less than equal to 0, and B column values are positive. Means that this is your optimal solution. And what is it? X1 equal to 3 and S2 equal to 2. That's it. All right. So that's how you accommodated the changes in the optimal solution you have obtained for original problem, and you found that Cj minus Ej for S2 has turned positive. You made it entering variable and you found living variable, and as usual you have completed the iteration after that, and that happened to be optimal. All right. Now coming on to the seventh problem. Okay, find the optimal solution if objective function becomes x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3. So what you have to do, you rewrite this problem with the coefficient of x1, x2, x3 in objective function as 1, 2, 3. And soon this change, you replace this coefficients as 1 and 2, and now you once again find Cj minus Ej value. Okay, Cj minus Ej for basic variable has to be 0, so you don't waste your time in calculations. X3 Cj minus Ej comes out to be minus 1 plus 4 3, 3 minus 3 0, right? And then Cj minus Ej for S1, that is coming out to be Ej. We will be first finding out 4 minus 2 2 0 minus 2 minus 2. That's right. Then Cj minus Ej for S2, Ej is minus 1 plus 2 1 0 minus 1 minus 1. All Cj minus Ej's are less than equal to 0, so you don't have to do anything. Your optimal solution still is x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2, and z is equal to z is going to change because your objective function has thoroughly changed. Z is 5. Now, what if some of the value here would have turned to be positive? Okay, what you would have done, you would have taken that as entering variable, and you would have found out replacement ratio, and you would have proceeded for the next iteration. Okay, so that is how we will be getting the optimal solution if there occur any change in the objective function, in the coefficients of variables in objective function. Okay, in the next class we'll be seeing how to find the optimal solution if the right hand side constants of the constraints undergo certain change. Okay, and change is bound to be there. Your LPP is not one time job. You will be formulating it once, and the coefficients of the variables either in objective function or in constraints, or what you may say right hand side constant, will change. Sometimes it may happen that new variable will enter. Sometimes one may think that there is product D. Okay, product E also. So those will be represented by variables x4 and x5. Can we incorporate these variables after you have got optimal solution? Might be someone reveals you that this constraint was not considered. You have considered the constraint for labor and material. Okay, what about administrative constraint? That is not considered. Okay, so can that be accommodated in the optimal iteration? We will be seeing in later classes. So we stop here. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.